2nd of July, 2021. Another muggy for us day here in Ireland. Good day yesterday. Several things got accomplished. God gave us a real answer to prayer that we've been praying about for a long time, and God directed things and worked out details so that we had a real answer to prayer. Our old car test is due in August, and our old car was just having thing after thing after thing go wrong with it, and it was just this happened, this alarm came on, this warning came on, the shocks were out in the front of it, and it was going to cost us a fortune to repair it. So we started praying about replacing the car, and last week came across a car that looked like it would work for us, and we were able to collect that yesterday, and it was just a blessing to be able to watch God meet that need and not have to carry that load of getting all those things fixed in an older car. So God just really took care of us. We prayed about it and prayed about it and prayed about it. And I guess the best thing about it was knowing that God answered our prayer. From the time we looked at it until the time we picked it up, we prayed that if this is God's will, He'd allow it. And I think it's important that we pray about all the things that we do, the little things, cars, whatever we do. We need to pray for God's direction, God's wisdom. And it was a joy to be able to drive home yesterday and know that this is the car that God allowed us to have. And it's just a joy to watch God work in that way. And last night, though, Mary and I were doing our devotions, we're reading through a series. It's a series of devotions about, I think it's 35 encounters with Jesus, 35 encounters with Jesus. And last night we got to Martha and Mary, and the devotional was so well written. Hope I can kind of duplicate what was said there. We're in Luke chapter 10, verse 38 through, Luke chapter 10, verse 38 through 41. Bear with me here. And now it came to pass as they went, they entered into a certain city, and a certain woman named Martha received him into her house. She had a sister called Mary, which also sat at Jesus' feet and heard his words. I love this phrase from the Old King James. But Martha was cumbered about much serving. And she came to him and said, Lord, don't you care that my sister's left me to serve alone? And therefore tell her to help me. And Jesus answered Martha and said to her, Martha, Martha, you're careful and you're troubled about many things, but one thing is needful. And Martha's chosen the good thing, the good part, which may not be taken away from her. Beautiful, beautiful picture of Jesus' attitude towards service. Martha and Mary were brothers of Lazarus, were sisters of Lazarus. And Jesus went into their house, and here's Martha working like crazy. What a wonderful woman she was. What a wonderful servant she was. She was dashing about, getting the meal ready, cleaning the house. And just doing all the things that you do when you're serving company. She was busy. She had the meals to get ready. The author of the devotional said that if just the disciples had been there, the crowd she would have had by herself. And finally, and the whole time, now think about this, the whole time Jesus is teaching, and Mary, her sister, lived in the same house, was sitting on the floor listening to Jesus teach. You ever done that? You ever been so busy doing things that you don't take time to stop and even have that same emotion? Why am I doing all this? And she was angry. I love the phrase, cumbered about with serving. Encumbered, loaded down with the pressures of serving. And she came to Jesus and said, what's she doing there? Tell her to come help me. Can't she see how busy I am? Can't blame her. I think we've all been in that situation where it's not fair that we're doing all the work and somebody else is doing nothing. And Jesus said, Jesus told her those wonderful words. He says, you're careful, you're full of cares about this, and you're troubled about these things, but Mary's chosen a better thing. That's to sit down at my feet and listen to me. Now, obviously that doesn't mean we don't do the work. The work has to be done. We can't just stop the work that we need to do. But Martha's problem, that's what Jesus said, was burdening her down. She was so worried about all the stuff that needed to be done, and she didn't just do it. She was overly stressed about it. I can see her fluttering about, getting exasperated. And Jesus said, no, Martha, no anger, no frustration with her. He said, you're troubled with all this stuff. He said, sit down, we'll work those things out. Mary has chosen to sit at my feet and listen to me. Sometimes we need to stop, slow down, stop being so stressed about what we're doing and what we're not doing and what other people are doing, what they're not doing. And sometimes we just need to sit down and sit at Jesus' feet and let him teach us. That's a noble thing to do. How are our lives? Are we so busy doing stuff that we don't have time to sit down and listen to Jesus? If we are, we're too busy. If we don't have time to stop and listen to Jesus, we're too busy. Because that needs to be a major priority in our lives. So let's be careful we don't get so cumbered about with the cares of this world that we forget to sit at Jesus' feet and listen to him. Yeah, sure, we need to be the Marthas. Martha's a great serving role. But we also need to be the Marys who take time to stop and listen to Jesus and see what he has for us today. God bless you guys. Have a great weekend. We'll, God willing, be back in our service on Sunday morning, beginning our church live stream, if everything keeps working, about 11:15. For those of you who've been watching and noticed the sound quality, I've had a suggestion working on something to try to improve the sound quality of those videos. And so pray that we get that accomplished. Have a great weekend, guys. God bless.